So, if you've been trying to treat phimosis with stretching and just haven't seen the results you want, trust me, you are not alone. The problem is that stretching by itself is only one piece of the puzzle. Today, we're going to walk through a complete medical protocol that's all about the real goal here. Not just to temporarily stretch the skin, but to actually grow new, flexible tissue. That's how you get a permanent solution.
Here's the game plan. We'll start by understanding the science behind how tissue actually grows. Then we'll cover some crucial prep work, the stretching technique itself, and then, and this is the most important part, the two-part healing process that stops the skin from just tightening back up, making sure all your progress sticks around for good.
Okay, let's kick things off with a single biggest mindset shift you need to make. The goal here is not to force the skin to stretch. It's to encourage your own body to build a biological solution. We are talking about permanent growth, not just some temporary elasticity.
Now, the science behind this is called mechanical induction of mitosis. I know, it sounds super complex, right? But the idea is actually pretty simple. When you apply a gentle, sustained tension, you're basically sending a signal to your skin cells telling them, hey, we need more room here. And so they divide and create new tissue. Think of it like this. You're not just trying to push out the walls of a house. You're actually building an extension. You're adding brand new material. And that's exactly why the results are permanent. Because this is your body's own natural process. Patience and consistency are going to be your best friends. This is not an overnight fix. But with steady, daily effort, you can usually expect to feel some initial pliability within the first week. By week 4, you should see some noticeable loosening. And for most people, reaching the goal happens in about 8 weeks. So, now that we get it, the goal is cell growth, let's talk about how to create the perfect conditions for that to happen. Proper prep is the foundation of this whole protocol. It makes the tissue way more responsive, and, just as important, it helps prevent complications that could set you way back. First things first, heat. It's that simple. Just a 10-minute soak in a warm bath or shower relaxes the collagen fibers in the skin, making the foreskin up to 30% more pliable. This tiny step makes a massive difference, making your stretching sessions both safer and a whole lot more effective. And the second step, look, this one is completely non-negotiable. Hygiene. You have to sterilize your hands before you start. The stretching process creates tiny micro tears in the skin, which is totally normal. But if bacteria get into those little tears, it can lead to balanitis. That's a painful inflammation that will stop your progress dead in its tracks and send you right back to square one. All right, with our prep work done, we are ready for the stretching protocol itself. We're going to use the two-finger technique, which is a really precise and controlled method designed to apply just the right amount of tension to kickstart that cell growth. The process is incredibly straightforward. You'll use 2 clean fingertips. A lot of people find that their pinkies work best when they're just starting out, and you gently place them just inside the opening of the foreskin. Then, slowly and carefully, you just pull your fingers apart to apply a gentle, sideways tension on that tight ring of skin. Now, this right here is the most important part of the technique. You have to listen to your body. You're looking for a dull, pulling sensation. That's the sweet spot. That's the signal for growth. If you feel any kind of sharp sting, that is your body screaming at you that you're tearing the tissue. You have to stop immediately and ease off. Tearing just leads to scar tissue, which is the exact opposite of what we're trying to do here. The rhythm of the protocol is really simple and easy to remember. You're going to hold each stretch for about 1 minute. You'll repeat this 10 times. And you'll do this whole routine twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. It's that consistency that really drives the results. And now we come to what is, honestly, the most critical part of this entire process. This is the part most people miss. See, the stretching itself, that's only half the battle. How your skin heals in the hours after you stretch is what determines if your progress becomes permanent or if the skin just tightens right back up again. As you can see, there are really 2 different paths your healing can take. On the left, if you only stretch, that microtrauma can heal all wrong, forming this tight, disorganized scar tissue called fibrosis. That can actually make things worse. But on the right, with what we call guided healing, we make sure that new tissue grows in an organized, flexible way, which is what makes your progress stick. This is where a specialized recovery cream becomes absolutely essential. You want something with what are called anti-fibrotic properties, which is just a fancy way of saying it's specifically designed to stop that bad scar tissue from ever forming. It basically acts like a liquid bandage, guiding those micro tears to heal correctly after every single session. So, you've stretched to signal growth, and you've used a cream to make sure it heals right. Awesome. But there is one final hurdle: the skin's natural tendency to shrink back down. It's a process called tissue recoil.
Think of your skin's collagen fibers like little coiled springs. The moment you stop stretching, they naturally just want to contract and go back to their original, tighter state. This recoil can slowly, quietly undo all of your hard work throughout the day. So, to counteract that, a skin elasticity oil provides a kind of passive 24/7 signal to the skin. By keeping those collagen fibers moisturized and supple, it prevents that recoil effect. Plus, these oils often have essential vitamins, which give your body the raw materials, the building blocks, it needs to build all those new healthy cells you're growing. So now you can see how this all clicks together as a complete system. The stretching, that's the action that signals cell growth. The cream, that guides the healing to prevent scars. And the oil, that maintains flexibility to prevent recoil. You need all three parts to make sure the new growth is flexible, healthy, and most importantly, permanent. Finally, let's talk about the long game. What do you do if you run into any issues? And how do you maintain your results after you've reached your goal? A really common concern is seeing some swelling or redness. That's a sign of inflammation called edema. First of all, don't panic. This is usually just a sign that you've been a little too aggressive with the stretching. The response is simple. We call it the 48-hour pause rule. You stop all stretching immediately. For the next 2 days, the only thing you're going to apply is your anti-fibrotic healing cream. This will calm down the inflammation and let the tissue recover properly before you gently start the protocol again.
Okay, so once you've achieved that full, comfortable retraction, you enter the maintenance phase. You can stop the active two-finger stretching, but, and this is really crucial, you should continue using the skin elasticity oil every day for 2 more weeks. This final step helps to set the new tissue structure, making sure your results are truly locked in for the long haul. And all of this leaves us with one final thought. Ask yourself this: are you just temporarily treating a symptom by forcing your skin to stretch? Or are you systematically guiding your body to build a permanent biological solution? This protocol is all about the second one. It's a fundamental shift from forcing the skin to encouraging it to grow.